Does this tangle look complicated? It's not actually that complicated once you break down the individual steps. I'm Lisa Crow, a certified Zentangle teacher, and today I'm going to help you draw this beautiful tangle called Ravenna. So grab your pen and get comfy and we'll get started. So I'm just going straight in with pen today to create this tile. So I'm going to start by drawing a seed shape or a rice shape, whatever you would like to consider this shape to be. And I'm going to create a line of them going from the bottom left-hand corner to the top right. And we're going to try and place these fairly equally apart, but don't be too fixated on, we're not measuring anything out. It's just roughly eyeballing it. And this is a lovely tangle. This is a tangle that was deconstructed by Teresa Fessler, who is a certified Zentangle teacher like myself. And it's a variation of the tangle way bop, which I have previously taught on my YouTube channel. So I will link to that video here. So once you've created your line of your seed shapes, you're going to connect these seed shape, pod shapes, rice shapes, whatever you would like to call them, but just every other pair. We're not joining all of them, every other. So join, skip, join, skip, join, skip, join. And I'm going to turn the tile around. And then this one here at the end, we're going to imagine that there would have been another seed here and that we're connecting these. So basically, wherever the seeds that were not joined at the top, wherever they are, we're going to connect them at the bottom, all the way along that line. And then the next stage in this tangle is that we're going to aura these lines that we've previously created. And I'm simply meaning just mimicking the line that we've previously drawn in this one example. It's here. Create another line that's slightly further away. And the idea is that we're trying to be as consistent as we can with the distance that this new line is away from the one that we're mimicking. But we're not aiming for perfection, so if it's not consistently spaced all the way around, don't give yourself a hard time at all. It's more that the slower that we go with this and the more mindful that we try to be about the consistency in the strokes, the more mindful that we will feel. So turning that around and then repeating that same thing on this side all the way along. And for those of you who may be interested and you haven't seen my previous videos, the pen that I am using today is a Wren pen, which is created by Tom's Studio, and I think they're based in England. And this is basically the equivalent of a PN pen made by Micron or Sakura. Micron being a brand that Zentangle Ink use a lot. So now that we've created those aura lines, we're going to turn the tile so that your pattern is kind of along parallel to your body. And this outer side here, we're going to imagine that this is a band that's going to go underneath this one. So as if this is a line going out here and then using the hollabah drawing behind technique. We're going to create a loop out here so that this loop, it's like an apple seed really, that's going to land about half the way along here. And we'll do that in every single space that we have. Now in this context here, the loop would be somewhere up here, so obviously we're just kind of imagining where that would be positioned. We'll do this one and then I'll turn my tile around. And then this one would disappear off as well. So then the next step is that we go to the next line over that's the same band, and it's as if this has disappeared underneath that band as well. So then we're going to aura the line that we've just created with the loop, bring our pen around, and then stop. We're going to do that on every single loop that we just created. And some of them we're not going to be able to complete that shape, but that doesn't matter. We're just imagining where it would have been and then repeating that on the other side. So now, as you may be able to see what we do next, what we're going to do is connect this set of parallel lines here with this set of parallel lines as if they disappear under these. So this line is going to come down here, just drawing that in the air just so that you're with me, and then this one is going to connect here. And just take your time. It's like I say, the slower that you create these tangles, the more that you're allowing yourself to just be in the moment and think about the tile and the individual steps that you are following. This one here, I hadn't actually created that aura, so I'm just doing that now. Now connecting that, and then we'll do the same steps on the other side. So that is essentially all that you have to do for this tangle. So the way that I've seen it online before, it's been like we've had it shaded in the middle. I think for now I'll move on to shading and then I'll see what I think about the centres, whether to actually fill them in or not. So you've seen me referring to these bars that go over and under one another. So just anywhere that you have the overlapping, I'm just finding those little bits and adding some graphite. And I'm just kind of going along this side of the tangle at the minute because I just find it easier if I'm pointing the pencil where I'm supposed to be shading, rather than like pencil would be to me like a bit more awkward there if I'm, it's more in kind of the context of being accurate. Like, if you know, you don't have to have your pencil point in a specific way. Okay, and then I'm going to turn my tile, as you can see, and just go along this side and catch any that I maybe missed before as well. I missed a few. Too many different loops. It feels quite surreal, to be honest, to me that today is Monday. It honestly feels like I made last week's video just yesterday. The weekend just went by in such a flash this weekend. Another couple of bits there that I need to add shading to. So then bringing out my little friend, the blending stump, and just smoothing out those pencil lines. And this is where it still is pencil. I think it's quite obvious that it's pencil, but it just kind of gives you a whole new look. The blending stump softens the pencil down and makes it just act as a shadow. And it's a whole other look altogether that you end up with. I'll turn that over and repeat the same thing all the way along. I've just noticed a bit that I didn't shade. So yeah, it was a bit of a busy weekend. It was actually my birthday weekend and my sister's birthday, like we're a day apart. So it's my sister's birthday on Saturday and then it was my birthday yesterday. So we had a really nice weekend. Over both days we spent time with my family and my nephews were there, so there was lots of cuteness. And here we are back to a Monday again. It's crazy how fast the time passes. So if you're working on a tile that's not a white coloured tile, you might want to explore using highlights. So this pencil, if you're not familiar with one of these pencils, it's a General's charcoal white pencil. So you're using it basically, like I say, to add a bit of a contrast between where we're putting this pencil and where the shadow is. And it's just such a game changer for me. This is my favourite shade of tile to work on, the tan ones. I love working on grey tiles as well, but I personally just love the Renaissance style of tile. So I'm just going anywhere where there are large areas where there's no shadow and just popping that pencil down, just trying to keep it well away from the shading. So I actually had an unexpected birthday present in that I had wanted to attend the Zentangle retreat in Glasgow. I don't know if let me know actually. I'd be interested to know if any of you who are subscribers of my channel, do you also subscribe to Zentangle? Zenjo is one of my favourite tanglers. She is based in Wales and she has been doing, I'm not 100% sure if I'm right in this, but I think that the retreat she has coming up in September, it might be her 4th retreat, so she kind of alternates them between the UK and the States. So the one coming up in September is actually in Glasgow, which is where I live. Before I say anything else, I'm just going to explain. So I'm using my blending stump and just smoothing those pastel pencil lines out. It's probably self-explanatory, but just in case you haven't seen any of my videos before, I just want to explain I'm using a different, this is actually a tortillon, it's hollow rather than solid. Smoothing out my lines. So yeah, she has her retreat coming up in Glasgow in September, and I'd swithered about whether to go, not because of the event itself, it was a bit of a no-brainer from that point of view. A room full of tanglers and tangling for a few days in a row, like it's just my dream. But pure budgetary reasons, I wasn't 100% sure I could afford it. And then I thought, no, I'm the only Zentangle teacher in Glasgow, and there's a Zentangle event in Glasgow. I have to go, and this is back in January that I'm talking about this particular thing. So I went to book my ticket, and because these Zenjo retreats are so amazing, they just sell out. So I got there too late, and I was really disappointed, and I thought, oh, it's not meant to be then. But I went on the waiting list in case a ticket became available in the event of a cancellation. So the other day, Darcy, she works with Joe on pulling the retreats together. Darcy, I'm not sure which part of the States that Darcy is from. If you do know who Darcy Ellerby is, then you can probably tell me. She is definitely in the States. So she got in touch with me over the weekend to say, there is actually a space available, would you like to come? So early birthday present for me, really. It was the Friday, and then it was my birthday yesterday, like I say. So I am going to the Zenjo retreat in September, and I am so excited. I'm so excited. So yeah, that'll be one to look out for. So let me know in the comments if you're actually attending, because then I would be able to meet you in person. That would be amazing. So this is the end of this tangle. So there's so many different things you could do with this now. As you can see here, this one, I have filled in the centres of these bits here, and then I've filled out I've inked in these bits here where there were seed shapes in that loop that we created. For some reason, I don't know why I didn't ink in those bits. That's just an oversight, I think. I've also done this one. It's exactly the same that I've just done now with you, except I've created another aura line either side, a really, really thick aura line, and then I've added some shadow underneath. So I think just from the point of view of not having my video run on too long, I'll almost be wrapping it up here, but I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow. I'm going to do something slightly different with this one, in that I think I'll just put shadow on the left hand sides here, maybe on the bottoms of areas as well. Remember, if you are shading exactly the same way as me, we're not being concerned about where the light source is or anything like that. So don't get too caught up with that. There is no light source in Zentangle. Just realised my tile's slightly off camera, so sorry about that. Starting that shade all the way along. Now, this shading bit, you don't really need to do this. It's just whatever you feel inclined to do. You could try shading in a different area if you would like. You could try it my way, and then maybe you want to do this tile all over again. It's such a beautiful tangle to play with. Oops, sorry, bashed the camera. Yeah, I'm going to be coming back to this one because, you know, the fact that I made the Waybop video, the fact that I recorded that, you know that it's the kind of tangle that I enjoy. Sorry. So yeah. And in fact, it'd be interesting to know, maybe you have already tried this tangle out before. I've created Teresa Fessler's tangles before, but I hadn't seen this particular one. It just spoke to me. I thought, yeah, that's for me. So there we have it. I am just going to, I mean, you can see that's not perfectly created. I'm kind of hurrying a little bit for the sake of not dragging the video out to be too long. But what I want to do is to add my chop, which is just my identifier. It could be my initials, my first name, just much as you would see in a gallery where an artist has painted or created some kind of artwork. They would have a sign on it that says that that was their art. So you add your chop to your Zentangle projects as well. So yeah, this is so much fun. I'm definitely going to be playing with this one some more. Just bring this one back in and this one as well. So yeah, do let me know if you have enjoyed tangling this tile today. I would love to see your version of it. So please do share. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't, please. All tells the algorithm that people are enjoying my channel and it passes it out to other people. Just means that you don't, miss out on any other videos as well. So thank you very much. Have a great week and I'll see you next week. Bye.